Good morning. Let's talk about what some people call pleasantries. What is that? Well, when we meet somebody new, or sometimes when we talk to somebody we haven't talked to in a while, or we, for one reason or another, we ask each other questions like, "How are you?" And of course, the expected answer is to say something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm fine," and to ask them back, "How are you?" And they're supposed to say they're fine, and that's supposed to be the end of it, which doesn't seem very productive, but it's just the way that we live life. But it's not the way we have to live life. And I have some thoughts I want to share on that particular interaction that have been shared with me, and that I think are good things I've been trying to institute in my life. But right now, the question comes to mind when people ask, "What do you do?" And people pretty much always give a very curt answer, a very short thing. Maybe they'll give their job title, or they give some little description. And it's understood because a lot of times people don't even know what that is, and they're just being polite to ask, or maybe they're just curious, or they don't really want a long diatribe about who you are, what you do. So they try to give you whatever sounds right. For some people, this question can be stressful. Because they don't know how to answer that, or they know how to describe it. And if you start asking, especially you start asking questions, some people open up and they're happy to share about their life and what they do. And some people just seem to brush you off. And, either way, it's fine. But in this moment, I'm challenged to hear the question differently, and I think we all should begin to hear that question differently. Instead of hearing, "What do you do?" which often translates to, "How do you make money?" Maybe it would be more productive to say, just kind of hear them saying, "What can I support you in? What can we join hands in and walk through life together in? Maybe we have a common interest. Maybe there's a reason for us to network like this. What way can I be an active part in your life?" People ask that question, one of the many reasons people ask that question is they're looking for connections. And it doesn't take very many. Of course, you're not going to get a great reaction. Not that you'll get a bad reaction, but if you've given it some thought and you have a thoughtful response to that about where you might potentially make a connection with that person and where they can be supportive in your life, and of course you should be looking for how you can be supportive in their life, and you have that, then you can give that answer. And yeah, most people are not, I admit, most people are not going to be prepared to have deep discussions at that point. They're usually just making pleasantries, as it's called. And but it'll stay in their mind, and maybe they'll call you back later and say, "I was thinking about what you said." If you take it beyond pleasantries, beyond being polite, beyond satisfying their curiosity. And even if most people do not have an immediate reaction or a reaction ever, and nothing ever comes of it, it doesn't take very many connections to make a huge difference in your life and to fill the places in your life that were meant to be filled. Sometimes you didn't even know. I think most of the time we don't even know the places in our life that need to be filled and the connections that we needed to make, and the happy little accidents, as Bob Ross would say. The happy little accidents. You know, they're not mistakes. And being open with people, I mean, not everybody. I'm not talking about throwing your privacy completely out the window and just being, ridiculous with people. I'm not saying that. But just being willing to be transparent when you're supposed to be. And even sometimes when it's not comfortable, but you think maybe it's the right time, and to share what's going on in your life. And maybe ask for help. Say, hey, maybe there's something you can do. We can work together with this. But maybe you don't even do that. Maybe you just put it out there. You just have an open heart to share with people what you're doing in life, what your life is all about, and what's important to you, and to really have an honest, open discussion. Beautiful things can happen, and if you don't have these conversations, then it's a lot less likely to happen. Some people will have that good reaction. Why not keep the door open? Why not keep the door? Be careful who you let through the doors of your life, of course. Don't be silly. But keep the door open to the good things to come in too. Because the most important thing in life is the relationships that you have and that you cultivate. And the relationship you have with the Father. And, part of his miracle working power is how he brings people together. So I just wanted to share that with you. I wish you every blessing. I really do.
We'd love to hear from you. Please write to us at disciplesofcana@gmail.com.